I'd like to call to order the Pottstown Borough Council meeting for May 8, 2017. If you would rise for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilor Arms?
Present.
Councilor Kirkland?
Here.
Councilor Cope?
Here.
Vice President Miller?
Here.
Councilor Paez? Here. Councilor Proxel?
Here.
President Wynn?
Here.
Mayor Thomas? Here. There is a quorum.
Thank you. Seeking a motion for approval of minutes.
Moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any additions, corrections, or discussion?
Yes.
Mr. Kirkland.
On my report for the Ricketts Club, I had that the income limit was $25,000, but it's actually $35,000. Let me change that.
Noted.
And the date for the summer program is June 19th through August 11th. That was it.
Okay, thank you. Any others? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. I want to take a break at this point because of time and costumes and everything else. We're moving some things on the agenda. If you look under new business, items A, B, C, and D will go in order now, and then we'll get back to the regular order on the agenda. So, Mayor, I think you have two parts in here. So you get to go a little bit first. Section A, we're going to start with our gentleman in the warm suit. Let's all hear it for Trojan Man.
Mr. Amato. And Mr. Trojan. I have a proclamation today for our Trojan Man. The proclamation is to honor the Trojan Man, Pottstown High School's mascot of excellence and pride. Before I read this, would you like to make some comments? Or before and after? You may. After?
Mr. Armato,
Okay.
would you want to bring your students up?
Okay. The office of the mayor and the Burgess and town council of the Borough of Pottstown acknowledge the impacts, efforts, and activities of the embodied Trojan Man, a conglomeration of students and faculty who are Pottstown proud. Whereas the activities of Trojan Man include social activities such as pep rallies, bonfires, the Ice Bucket Challenge, along with appearances at Pottstown Athletic League events, National Night Out, and Eyeball Unity Day. Not an exhaustive list. That's the short list. Whereas the role of fundraising has included the Lace Up and Twist Away Childhood Cancer, a national tour by Mascots for a Cure, and whereas the Trojan Man has many community engagements, including the Family Literacy Nights, National Night Out, and a toy collection for the Salvation Army, Reading Hospital, and Pottstown Memorial Medical Center. Whereas the Trojan Man provides an area of inspiration to citizens, students, and outsiders alike. Now, therefore, I, Mayor of the Borough of Pottstown, hereby proclaim a culture of civic pride, community engagement, and inclusion for all people. We recognize that the Trojan Man concept personality as one of many Pottstown heroes. We are grateful for your part in promoting Pottstown.
On behalf of Trojan Man, who is in his non-speaking role right now, and the Trojan Nation, both men and women of the Trojan Nation, we accept this recognition very humbly. I will say that we have a saying, proud to be from Pottstown, and the Trojan Nation is one of the reasons that we can proudly say that. I am particularly want to give credit to Mr. Dave Woodley, one of our teachers, who really is the founder and inspiration for all of Trojan Nation and all of our Trojan men and women. We're very proud of these men and women who not only are part of the Trojan Nation, but are involved in a number of co-curricular activities throughout the year, including the honor roll. So we are proud of what he has done, how he has created an inspiration within our community to do more than just be the cheerleader at athletic events. As important as that is, he has become much more of a symbol for the rebirth of Pottstown, and we are very, very proud of him. Very few mascots can say some of the things that Trojan Man can, one of those being that he has his own coloring book. We have a Trojan Man coloring book, which we will be presenting to each one of the council members and the mayor and the borough manager, because we wouldn't want to leave him out when he has something to do, some spare time. We also will be presenting you with our latest edition of Pottstown Pride, our winter edition, and hope that you can see some of the great things that our students, faculty, and staff have been doing. Additionally, we would like to present to each member of Borough Council and the mayor and the borough manager one of our We Are Pottstown shirts. And if one of you will hold up one of those shirts for us. That's if we can find them. The We Are Pottstown shirts are really an original piece from our students a number of years ago who were doing a fundraiser project for Cancer for a Cure. The back, which says, "Once a Trojan, always a Trojan," is a design that our students made, and we would like to present one of those to each one of Borough Council.
Before
that now.
Before that's done, can I read the names? And if you hear your name, can you look at the camera and wave? How about that? The following students are Trojan men and ladies: Aaron Diamond, John Oyster, Austin Andrews, Owen Morton, Michael Baker, Anthony Wiggins, Anthony Santiago, Angel Olvera, Abby Kraus, David Hicks, Naeem Sherez, oh, you didn't tell me your last name. Zach Griffin, Gabe Francis, Todd Shadler, Jorge Mundo, and Ebony Reddick. Thank you.
Needless to say, along with Trojan Man, the We Are Pottstown shirts are a symbol of our unity and of our commitment to our community. We're very proud of those. We ask people to wear them proudly. We're going to ask Borough Council if you would come down here and take a Trojan Man picture holding your shirt. You don't have to put them on right now, but if you could come down and hold that shirt. You will note that we didn't size these up. So you'll have to trade around a little bit. I can tell you there's no mediums. this picture, if we could just take one of just the Borough Council with Trojan Man. That way we'll make sure we can get one picture up on the website. Trojan Man, you go right in the middle right there. And you have occasion to wear these shirts on your own. If you send us a picture, we have a We Are Pottstown photo gallery that we are always happy to share pictures. I think we have a couple of you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, next, a little bit out of order, we're going to hear from our local Girl Scouts. Tell us about the value of rain.
I'll just give everyone a brief introduction of kind of what we're doing here. So this is a part of our MS4 program that the municipality is responsible to update and maintain a permit for that every 5 years. And every year we have to provide an update to the state on some of the accomplishments that we made towards addressing our MS4 stormwater compliance issues. So two of those requirements, the MS1 and MS2, are for public outreach and for public participation. So what we've done is we've worked with the Environmental Advisory Committee to look at ways where we can reach out to the public and help educate the residents a little bit more about how to handle stormwater in a sustainable way, in a way that will be less impactful to our conveyance system that we have here in the borough. So working with Katie Scanlon and the EAC, we brought in a group of Girl Scouts to help lead some of those outreach efforts in a very unique way. So at this point, I'll turn it over to them and let them give you their presentation.
Hello, we're Girl Scout Troop 71840, and this is our Silver Reward Project, No Rain, No Gain. I'm Liza Eames.
I'm Eleanor Lagore from the Wincroft School.
I'm Melinda Chris from Pottstown.
So we'll start off a presentation today talking about why we're using rain barrels. We're using rain barrels to benefit the community through an education program about using rain barrels to minimize the impact on our stormwater management system.
How it works. When you don't have a rain barrel, the rain will go on your roof, and then it'll go into your drainage pipes, and then it'll go into the street, and it'll collect debris and pollutants, and then from there it'll go into the sewer system, and then it'll go into the water management system. From the water management system, it'll go into the Schuylkill River, and that makes the Schuylkill River very dirty, and that's very unsanitary and bad for the environment. If you use a rain barrel, the rain, after it goes to the drainage pipe, will go into the rain barrel, and then when it's filled, you can use it for outdoor uses. And it does not collect the debris and the pollutants, so it's a much cleaner and safer way.
This can affect many people. This can affect the people that use the Schuylkill River for recreational purposes. It can affect the people that use it for the animals and the people that use it for drinking and for their food sources. But when you use the rain barrels, and you use the water from the rain barrels, when you garden, the water is seeped into the ground and then goes through the water table system, which is a natural filter, which makes it cleaner water that goes into the Schuylkill River.
Some benefits of using rain barrels, excuse me, are cheaper water bills. So think of every time you turn on your spigot, you're opening your wallet. You could also use the water from rain barrels to water your vegetable or flower gardens. You could also use them to wash any pets you may have. The amount of pollutants and debris will decrease in the Schuylkill River, allowing it to be cleaner and safer for the environment. Our main goal, for those who are willing to help and those who are willing to learn, is to be able to use the rain barrels to collect all the debris, well, not is to to collect safer water and cleaner water so that we're not contributing to the debris and the pollutants that are going into the Schuylkill River. This is a very big issue throughout the world, unsafe water, that places don't have drinking water, they don't have water that they can use. So in Pottstown, if we can all work together and we can teach people about how to use the rain barrels to keep the water clean, then hopefully we can achieve our goal of safer water. Any questions? Thank you.
If anybody wanted to obtain a rain barrel, who would we reach out to?
Well, we could do, so right now what we've done is we've done rain barrel giveaways. So we did World Thinking Day for Girl Scouts, and then we had a raffle contest thing that they could enter. So we would give away rain barrels just to show, like, how, after we do the presentation, to show people. But I'm sure we can get websites and things to order, like places to order from. So if you want, you can reach out, and then we can give you, like, if there are specific ones that work better than others, so that we can send you them.
You got about the cost goes through, I think it was like maybe $70, hold 50 gallons. Yeah, fairly decent stuff.
The one that the ladies have is going to be raffled off. We're waiting for the next community event for them to do this next raffle. And that's from Amazon. So anybody who wants one can go to Amazon. I think that was $55.
And you brought raffle tickets with you?
We did not bring raffle tickets with us. Sorry to say.
Any additional questions?
Any other
Nice work, ladies.
And just to let you know, our stormwater manager, Doug Yerger, is probably quite proud of you for that. Aren't you, Doug?
Very good. We need more rain barrels out there.
That's what I consider conservative and environmentally friendly options that we can use to reuse and recycle rainwater. Ecologically positive.
Okay, next, we're going to call upon our mayor again for a presentation. Henry Krapp, Pennsylvania, this one? Oh. Proclamation for Public Service Recognition Week.
Okay. This is a proclamation in honor of the millions of public employees at the federal, state, county, and local levels. Truly, we realize that the wheels of government often turn slowly, but without the people that are employed to work in government, we would not have the backup and support we need as elected officials. Whereas Americans are served every single day by public servants at the federal, state, and local levels. These unsung heroes do the work that keeps our nation working, whereas public employees take not only jobs but oaths. Whereas many public servants, including military personnel, police officers, firefighters, border patrol officers, embassy employees, healthcare professionals, and others, risk their lives each day in service to the people of the United States and around the world. Whereas public servants include teachers, doctors, and scientists, train conductors and astronauts, nurses and safety inspectors, laborers, computer technicians and social workers, and countless other occupations. Day in and day out, they provide the diverse services demanded by the American people of their government with efficiency and integrity. Whereas without these public servants at every level, continuity would be impossible in a democracy that regularly changes its leaders and elected officials. Therefore, I, Mayor of the Borough of Pottstown, do announce and proclaim to all citizens and set the seal hereto that May 7th through 13, 2017 is Public Service Recognition Week. All citizens are encouraged to recognize the accomplishments and contributions of government employees at the levels federal, state, county, and local. So that means that you can say kind things on the website when you sign on and be very proud that things are as they are in our borough. With all the challenges that we have, I would say that it overall and comparatively to many other places, we have a sound community that for the most part is safe and full of opportunities for those who would seek them out. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, now we'll go back on script number 6, comments from citizens present.
David Guest. Okay, thank you, Chief.
That's all.
That's all.
Very good. Number 7, subcommittee reports. I'll start with the Finance and Administration report. We did meet last week, and it's nice to give good news. As of April 30, that's 1/3 of the year, 49% of the revenues have been collected, and only 30% of the expenses have been used. The other topics we had, taxes collected in 2016 at this time was at a level of 84%. And now in 2017, 86%. So we're up, we're better 2% than last year. The delinquent collected in 2016 at this time was 15%, and now in 2017, we've collected 60%. And this is partly due to rental license and, of course, Act 90. Justin was there and he shared with us, pardon me, Justin was there and he shared with us the approval to do a grant for the East Apron runway at the airport and also the T-Hangar taxiway. We're doing well. That's all.
Can I ask a question about, when you said the delinquent taxes collected, that's 2016, so 60% has been collected, so there's still 40% outstanding from 2016.
I don't know how far that goes back as far as delinquency.
No, that's not what it's showing.
Okay. Can you explain what that number is?
Yeah, we collect delinquent taxes for, we go back to 2004 and 5 that are outstanding. So it's not just the prior year, it's generalized. The delinquent taxes in 2016, this time last year we collected 15%, where this year we've collected 60%,
Okay.
which is a result of the, it's Act 90.
Act 90.
Or the rental ordinance and requirements.
I think that full explanation will help those that are viewing to understand the context of the numbers. That's the only reason I asked. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Committee reports. Mr. Green, Library?
Thank you, Mr. President. I think several meetings ago you had asked a specific question about someone you were referencing who was not able to use the law library as they previously had thought they could. And I'm going to make a public announcement about that because I think people in the public need to understand about their library card and what it can do for them. When you join the library, you get a white card like this. It's a McLink card, and it has a barcode on the back like you're used to seeing and scanning. So if you have one of those old cardboard membership cards from the library that's not any longer valid, you need to go to the library desk, register, and get the new McLink card. Now, the McLink system is a statewide system. Every public library in the state is connected to the McLink system. So when you get this card, you can take this card anywhere in the state, and you should be able to access the books in the library, Chester County, Berks County, wherever, any state library. However, the law library is not a public library. It's a specialized library. And there is no charge if you use the law book libraries in the law library. And you had mentioned that the individual was now running into a fee. Well, currently there's a $35 fee, annual fee, in order to check the books out of the library and use them at some place other than the library site itself. So that's probably the problem you're running into. And if the person you were referencing had perhaps a friend or an in, the friend or in is no longer there because they've had a shakeup in their staff. Some of the rules that they were operating under previously weren't being applied, and the people who were violating, the employees who were violating those rooms have been removed, and the people now are following the rules that should have been in place all along. So the point is your McLink is access to any public library.
Okay.
And the law library is a special
to remove
case.
the books from the library.
Yes, that will cost you $35 to actually remove them.
Fee.
An annual fee, yes.
Okay.
Now, there are other private libraries where the McLink will not work as well. There are lots of libraries, small private libraries that have special collections. Those you will need specific permissions to use. The McLink Pass won't allow you to get into those specialized private libraries for access to specialized material. I'd like to thank several nonprofit organizations for providing some funds that we will be using to help recarpet the downstairs. I didn't bring any duck tickets, partly because they're available at the library, and I want you to go to the library to get them. When you're there, take a look at the downstairs, because we have rearranged everything in the downstairs to make it more efficient. It's much more open than it was previously, so if you haven't been to the library at all, you probably won't recognize it from the old appearance, but it's the same building, and we're just doing some things inside to make it a little more efficient. Our next project, with the help of Seroptimists Club in Pottstown, and the First Presbyterian Church, which has a fund which they distribute to other nonprofits for various projects. The funding that they will give us will help us recarpet that downstairs space, which is our children's department. And with the help of the Rotary, we are finding now a use to create even more space in a portion of the library basement that previously was not accessible, which now is accessible, because we have reorganized and gotten rid of some things that were stored in that basement that were no longer profitable to be there. And that is a maker space. That's a space for crafts for kids, a maker space for them to use to get things done in the library while they're there. So we're continuing our efforts to make the library timely, useful, and efficient. And these are the most recent additions since we've had the overall renovation on the first floor. The duck race tickets are on sale, as I've said, $5 a ticket. You can buy them through July 4th. The duck race will take place as part of the July 4th celebration. As a previous winner, I got a nice ice cream maker, so it's possible that you can get a TV or an ice cream maker. There are some significant gifts. And if you don't buy your duck ticket at the library itself, there is a space on the ticket for you to designate which nonprofit you want that money to go to. So please consider checking the box for a Pottstown Regional Public Library, even though you may have purchased that ticket at any other vendor. There's a space on the ticket itself that will allow you to say, I want my portion of the profits to go to the public library, because the more tickets we sell, the bigger slice of the pie we're going to get at the end of the program. There are two tours. Well, there's a tour to Gettysburg happening Sunday, June 4th. It's an all-day tour. It's being presented by Mike Snyder, who writes the historical pieces for the Mercury. It will feature those participants in that Civil War action who were residents of Pottstown at some point in their lives. Very interesting. It's well worth the time and cost to be there on that tour. And we're also having a fundraising called Painting with a Twist. For those of you who are not familiar with that, there's a location in the Spring City, I guess it is, that gives you an art lesson as part of a party atmosphere, and you walk away from that with a painting that you do, which they will teach you how to do, step by step. And in the process, you'll have some beverage, you'll have something to eat, you'll have some good conversation, do some networking, so on. And the profits from that event, which is scheduled for June 14th this year, will go to the regional library. I think that's about it. So again, lots of activity going on. Oh, there is one other thing I forgot. The first and the third Thursday of every month, so the next one coming up is the 18th. Congressman Ryan Costello has his office hours on the mezzanine level in our new space, the first and third Thursday of each month from 11 a.m. till 5:30 p.m. So it's virtually an all-day time that he'll have someone from his office there. If you've been tuned into the news nationally, there's a lot going on, and I'm hoping lots of you folks contact your representative and let him know how you feel about what's happening at the federal level. If you've been tuned into the news, there's lots of things. I'm not going to politicize it any more than that. But as far as library services are concerned, The federal government is woefully deficient in supporting public libraries, so we need someone to push more funding for public libraries across the United States. They have to be among the absolute lowest priorities as far as our federal government is concerned. We need to turn that around, and we need your help to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Green.
I'd just like to say also, Mr. Green, thank you for that report. And with that woeful deficiency, it should be a contrast to the accelerations of for-profit prisons.
Okay, item B is Human Relations. Councilor Paez, anything to report?
Well, we finally got all the members together, and we kind of reorganized them. We had a first training, and tomorrow is another training that we want to have. I don't know where and what room in there, because nobody, second floor, nobody let me know, because I wasn't appointed yet. Okay. And we're working pretty good.
Very good. Thank you. See, Padita, Ms. Dugan.
Good evening, everyone. The farm is getting ready to open on June 1st. We want to let everybody know that we are accepting the SNAP program this year. With that, at least the first 25 people, if not more, that come to the farm utilize their SNAP access card, they will receive an additional $5 coin to shop at the market. So the goal there is to try to get as many people eating healthy and buying local as possible. On the last Thursday of each month, which we're calling Almost Fridays, is our big events. So we not only will have different events on those days with live music and a beer garden and things like that, but the children of any of the children up to age 12, if they try a product of the month, they will also receive a $5 coin to go shop at the market. So those were two things that we were able to do because of the grant that we got through Health and Wellness. So the 5 events are June 29th, the 5K run to the market. July 27th, we'll be celebrating Christmas in July. August 31st will be a family celebration. September 28th, we will have a pet event. October 19th, which is not the last Thursday because the parade is going to be the week after, and that rain date would interfere with the farm. So we're doing it on the 19th, and that is breast cancer awareness. So even though the farm runs all month long, every Thursday, these are the 5 special events we'll be holding. We're happy to announce that the Hill School Philanthropy Group awarded us a $3,000 grant, and that is going to go towards helping us with the Main Street designation through DCED. We're removing several liens on properties, so we've been able to bring in close to $5,000 thus far. We have another about $4,000 that we're working with the building owners on, so that was a success for us this year for the first time in many years. And just the good news, Monco happening list, we had 3 winners. Right in the downtown, we had Art Fusion, 19464, Grumpy's Hand-Carved Sandwiches, and Pots and Pen Diner. We had 4 runners up. We had Beverly's, Gatsby's, who is at Sunnybrook, Pottstown Farm, which was pretty exciting for our second year only, or going into our second year, and Steel River Playhouse. So the Monco happening list happens from people's voting. So that's pretty cool to have that. So hopefully we'll see banners going up soon when they get them out to us and things. So thank you.
Very good. D is COG. Councilor Cole.
Meeting tomorrow night.
Okay. EACs, Mr. Durr here. Anyone from the EAC? All right. The minutes are in your packet. F, Regional Planning. Councilor Proskauer.
We had a regional traffic study presentation from DVRPC and the transportation planners, kind of basically what they're talking about doing in the area and if we had any concerns. Although, listening to the presentation, I kept thinking to myself, these are the guys who are responsible for 422. But they're there now.
Okay. Well, I have you. Tell us about the blighted property.
The minutes are in your packet.
Minutes, anything to add? H, emergency services. Mr. Feather.
Good evening, Council, and those in the audience. We have just a couple things. We do have a presentation tonight. And what I first want to go is, as I've been telling everyone, we have our annual golf tournament coming up. People that are interested, if you like to swing the clubs, if you're a hacker or a duffer, come on out. You'll have a good time. And we're in the process of preparing for the adult firefighting video. Is that we're going to start building that one now. And I believe, Chief, you are coming to visit us Thursday, correct? Yes. Okay, yes. So our new fire chief will be at the station for training on Thursday night, or doing training to introduce himself and meet everybody. And we look forward to that. And the other thing is, tonight we have a presentation. It was our recruitment video that's going to be out in the schools. And it is for explorers and junior firefighters. And with that, I will have Brian take over.
So you want to be a firefighter? You think you have what it takes and the time to complete that task? Here at the Phillies, you can join at the age of 14. We will put you through weekly trainings as well as send you into the fire academy. We have a spot for you here at the Phillies and our family.
At the Phillies Fire Company, you will learn how to fight fires, perform rescues, and administer emergency medical care. Due to labor laws, you will be restricted from certain activities. However, you will have plenty of time to learn the ropes now, so when you do turn 18, you will be ready to go. A number of us have followed the same path, and now we are asking if you want to join us.
The Phillies Fire Company has been serving Pottstown since 1871, and descendants of our founding fathers are still involved today. One of the legacies that has been handed down throughout the generations is our never-dying desire to fight fires. We fight fires and are one of the toughest fire companies around. A number of our firefighters have moved on to firefighting careers, both in professional and private sectors. Some of our members have also gone on to medical careers, law enforcement, and even the military. You will learn important life safety skills that you will carry with you for the rest of your life. You will be expected to attend weekly trainings and the Fire Academy to continue your education. Don't worry, because we cover your training expenses. If you really love emergency services work, a number of local colleges offer fire science degrees, and there are plenty of fields that prefer firefighters.
We need firefighters that take school seriously because it is the key to your future in the fire service and in life. People with failing grades need not apply. However, if you can get your grades up, we are interested in you. We are warriors that never give up. There is nothing more satisfying than serving your community, helping others, and saving lives. You will remember your very first fire call for the rest of your life. Ever ride shotgun in a fire truck? Yes, you can ride with us if a seat is available, but you will have to earn it. We have a lot of fun, like Fireman's Appreciation Night, pizza parties after training, cookouts, and family fun nights. We are an American subculture, a brotherhood, a sisterhood, and we look out for each other.
69, 329 at Building, 432 High Street, Pottstown. 69, 329 at Building with possible entrapment. Working fire with entrapment, 432 High Street.
By the way, was all done completely in-house by all of our people, no outside production or anything like that. Right.
Okay, I guess you opened the door with the school, the council opened the door for the school to let us in and do some recruitment. We took it upon ourselves to make the video of previous explorers and in-house. That means it means a little bit more to us because we did it ourselves. We got in the school, our schedule is May 30th. We'll start recruiting. And we're going to start the program in the summer. So thanks to yous, and along with us and the school, I think we're going to make a great team.
Yes.
And put out a lot of really good volunteers.
Great.
So I thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. We've been working on this too long.
Yes. Something to be proud of.
Video is very impressive.
Let's see. Okay, back on schedule. 10E is a presentation. Henry Crott, President, Pennsylvania Municipal League.
Good evening, folks. Thank you for having us. We appreciate it very much. I'm Rick Shuttler. I'm the Executive Director of the Pennsylvania Municipal League. Harry Crott is handing out the package to you now. And we're going to walk through a little presentation. Let me give Harry a second to sit down. As you can see, our mission is to strengthen, empower, and advocate for effective local government. We represent over 92 communities across the Commonwealth. We now have an equal, as you know, Pennsylvania is very much about class of municipality, but we're not. And so we have about an equal number of cities, and on the other side, boroughs and townships that make up that 90 plus in the league. And we talk to folks that we think would be a good fit for us, and we think Pottstown could be that, and that's why we're here this evening. So go ahead, Henry. I'm just going to walk through a little bit, talk a little bit about what we do and what our programs are. You know, we're an association. We are 2 blocks out the front door of the Capitol in downtown Harrisburg. Harry's our Director of Marketing and Member Services, and like I said, I'm the Executive Director, and I'll talk about a bunch of our programs. These are our values. This stuff is in the packet that Harry gave you, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. Go ahead, Harry. We're made up in 6 districts across the Commonwealth. There you see those. Here's our major advocacy issues that we've been dealing with for some time. Municipal pension reform. Most municipalities that are full service like you, pensions a big number. We've been working on that. We have bills in both the House and the Senate right now. I'll be glad to please stop me and ask me any questions on any of this stuff. But I'm going to breeze through it just so we can get we can get through and you have other business. Act 111, we think, is a big cost driver in municipalities like you. We're not eviscerating Act 111 by any means. We think there should be binding arbitration, but we need to put some parameters around that Act 111 process. Tax exempt entities is a big deal. We were in the forefront of the fight the last two sessions actually, and I can talk about that a little bit. It's kind of a complicated issue, but there was a movement to do a constitutional amendment to have the state legislature be the only entity that could define what a purely public charity was, and that was a result of a court decision that actually went our way, and that was their reaction to it. We fought that bill died before they could do the whole constitutional amendment, and so, but it is going to be resurrected again. There's a co-sponsorship memo out now, so we're very concerned about that, and we're going to pay a lot of attention to it. Other bills of interest, the Pennsylvania State Police fees, you may have seen that. The governor's proposing a head fee on municipalities that rely on the state police. Local use of radar, we've been very involved with. We're just putting out right now to try to create some options in legal advertising. As many of you know, the newspaper industry, the business model has changed so much that we think you need other options that you can do advertising and not rely totally on the print media. There's been some bills about recording executive sessions. Obviously, we oppose that. UCC Code Adoption Reform Bill, we think that's a big one, and it's a very important one, and I'll talk about why our involvement is a little bit more than what would normal be. But that's a good thing for Pennsylvania municipalities, that we can get this advisory committee in place and identify how the fees are going to be structured. A bill moved out of committee today, which we're happy to see, but we want the administration to stay with DCED and not move the labor and industry, so that was sort of one of our little issues with that bill. But any questions on any of those? I know I'm running through some big ones, but you know, you talk about 111, at least these pensions, there's a lot there, but I just don't want to take up too much of your time into the weeds. Thank you. Go ahead, Harry. We are affiliated with the National League of Cities. We're one of the 49 state leagues that make up the National League. I saw on your agenda you were talking about a community development block grant program and your use of those funds. As you may know, there's been some it's under I think a real threat, the CDBG program. This latest bill that came out, the I think it was the continuing resolution, kept CDBG funding levels intact, and that was not the plan. So that's a good thing, and I truly believe that was part of the advocacy of the National League of Cities and our involvement with that. We've been gathering information from our members so we can defend that program. That fight is not over, folks. That's going to come up again in 2018, and it's a real concern for municipalities across the Commonwealth, what happens with CDBG. There are other benefits that all of our members reap by our affiliation with the National League of Cities. We buy, you're in our Penn Prime Insurance Trust, and I'm going to talk about that. We buy some of our reinsurance on the property liability side through the National League. I sit on the board of directors of the National League of Cities Mutual Insurance Company by virtue of that relationship. I happen to be the chairman right now, but that rotates obviously. So go ahead, Harry. Fix the Numbers is our advocacy website. You can link at that off of our website, pml.org. We set that up, that's all us. We set that up to identify, to provide background information, really to John Q. Public. You folks get most of these issues. We want your public to understand what it means to them as taxpayers, and they can go on that site and get a lot of information. It's not totally up to date from last session, only because we don't have a lot of bill numbers on these bills, but we do have new co-sponsorship memos out, and we'll have bill numbers shortly. So we can, I encourage you to take a look at that. We're very proud of that effort. Go ahead, Harry. These are some of the member services we have, and I'll talk about those. Research and inquiry, you can call Harry up, ask for copies of ordinances, ask for a sample one you may be interested, sample policies, things like that we can certainly help you with. Our business programs, we're extremely proud of. The Municipal Utility Alliance, we run the only municipal, I'm going to use the word cooperative, it's not really the right word, but we actually, via intergovernmental agreement, you can buy electricity through us. And that program has now 280 entities in it. We've saved municipalities since 2010 when the rate caps came off. We've saved municipalities literally tens of millions of dollars through that program. There are a lot of brokers out there. I'm not knocking brokers. You probably have some in town. But what I always say to everybody is you need to compare pricing, because you can get a price from us with no obligation. And so you can compare it. Now, the way the market is now, when you get it, every day changes as the market is. But I would encourage you, however you're buying electric, look at that. It's worth it to at least compare. If you're getting a better deal, good for you. So be it. But that's a great program, and we're real proud of it. We had the program back in the 90s, and then when they put the rate caps on, there really was no margin to go after. When 2010, when it opened up gradually over 10, 11, 12, we were able to go back after and find savings for everybody, and we've been doing that ever since. One of our signature programs is the Public Employer Labor Relations Advisory Service, PELRAS. We get over 500 people in State College in March, plus during the year we run some seminars, and we have an update, a PELRAS update we call it, all about labor, all about collective bargaining, human resource management, really one of our most popular, and we like to believe that through, by putting forward best practices both in the collective bargaining process and binding arbitration, as well as in your management of your personnel, we've saved municipalities an awful lot of money through that program. U.S. Communities is a public purchasing program similar to CoStar's at the state level, but you again can compare prices. This is a nationwide service that we get by virtue of a relation with the National League of Cities. If you're looking at widgets on CoStar's, you can compare the widget price of U.S. Communities and see which one is best, and it still saves you you don't have to go out and bid because it has been properly and publicly procured. Let me jump to the next one, Harry. I'll talk about publications later. These are all of our publications. We have a link that goes out to members. Our locator gives you action calls go out in that. Reporters, our magazine, our most popular one, Municipal Job Junction. We get a lot of activity on that. Prime Watch you would be getting as a Penn Prime member, and our PELRAS update is our other publication. Some of those electronic. The Reporter we still put out in print. Go ahead. These are some of our latest initiatives I want to talk about. We are now, I mentioned before about the Uniform Construction Code. We are the provider of the Pennsylvania Construction Codes Academy training, the WIG is. All your code officers that have to be certified across the Commonwealth, we now provide that training. That's a big, big undertaking. So therefore that bill is very important to us. We will be doing that for the next 3 and hopefully 5 years. And so that's, we've had to staff up to do that, but it's going well so far, and we're really pleased with that. The PATH is the Pennsylvania Training Hub. That's your sort of core municipal training, if you will, which is, Finance 101, Budgeting 101, Zoning Officer, et cetera, and some higher level things. We're now providing all that training. These are via contracts with the Governor's Center for Local Government Services that we're providing that training. We also have a couple others, floodplain management, energy training we're doing, and we'll probably have a couple more. So the business of training has always been big for us because we do our own also, but these are via contract that we think add value to the membership in us being able to offer these. A couple of other ones that we were involved with, Sustainable Pennsylvania. We partnered with Sustainable Pittsburgh and took this program statewide, which is a certification. It's a way for you to look at yourself and understand whether the services and all the items that you're providing to your membership that you're providing and you're making your community more sustainable. It's not just a look at your green footprint, if you will. It's about how your community is sustainable. What are the services you're providing? Do people want to live here? We're pushing that out statewide. I think it can help this local government in Pennsylvania elevate our status because we're sort of looking at ourselves and regulating ourselves. A lot of folks have actually hired. It's not easy to do. You've got to go through. It's a long process, and to get these certification, a lot of people have used interns to do it. Again, I would just encourage you to take a look at that. We think it's going to be a great program for local government. Civics and You. We developed a curriculum that's I have in your high school here this evening. We developed a curriculum about civics that is available. It's made for the 10th grade level, and we think we need to get more civics back in the classroom. People understand more about local government. Everybody kind of morphs counties, municipalities, and whatnot. That's a great tool to be able to do that. We're encouraging our schools to take a look at it. Go ahead. That's we actually have in here, you'll see our strategic growth plan. We really were committed to putting a plan together. That isn't just something you throw on the shelf, but it's something we live and breathe every day, and we do that, and you'll have a copy of it in there. These are our Business Leaders Network. I provide that just to show the depth and the breadth of the folks that you can interact with as our members. Now, certainly they're sponsors, but we think they bring a lot to the table. We have really close relationships with them. They come to our meetings, come to our board. It gives you a chance, if you're having an issue with someone, gives you a chance to meet with all of them, and we think it brings a lot of value to the membership too. These are our municipal trusts and affiliate partnerships. Penn Prime and UCOM are true municipal trusts. Penn Prime has a workers' compensation and a property liability trust. You are in our workers' compensation trust. These are, again, these are done by intergovernmental agreement. We buy reinsurance, certainly through the private market, but these are, our coverage documents are built and based on municipal needs. Our defense of you is based on your status as a municipality. It's not just a private insurer who's into the municipal game. Unemployment Compensation Trust is a true municipal trust. We have two partners on that, the Township Commissioners Association, as well as the Association of Housing and Redevelopment Agencies. They're partnered with us. We insure about 150 entities on their unemployment compensation. APMN is the individual membership. Mark and Justin could be members of APMN. It's a professional organization that represents municipal managers. We think that brings a lot to the table. I'm the managing director of that association also. We think it brings a lot to the table to the league membership too, because managers are on the forefront and the cutting edge of what's going on in local government. Lastly, we have a relationship with the First Class Townships Association, and again, it gives us more breadth in our overall advocacy effort and all of our programs. I ran through that quickly, folks, and I'm sure you wanted me to because you want to do your other business, but please we'd love to have Pottstown take a look at us. Harry, we have an incentive program. You can actually take a look at us for free for a year and make a decision from there, whether you want to stay. We feel like every year we've got to earn our keep because folks have to make a decision to pay their dues or not pay their dues. But we want to give folks an opportunity to take a look. And once you're a member for the year, it's free, and you can get our publications and see what we're about and make decisions from there. So, thank you for the time. We appreciate it very much. Happy to answer any questions, Harry.
Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
You said you're pushing for a constitutional definition of what is a public charity?
No, we're not pushing for that.
Okay.
We're against that.
Okay.
What happened was, let me do this really quickly. Back in the 90s, the way you determined what was a purely public charity was called the HUP test, the Hospital Utilization Project. Okay. Professor Garner shakes his head. Back, the Act 55 of 1998 then kind of went the other way, where we were winning. Municipalities were winning that game, and Act 55 kind of took the air out of the room. And so what happened was there was a summer camp decision, 2012, up in Pike County, that where the Supreme Court county questioned their status, went all the way to Supreme Court. Supreme Court reinstituted the HUP test, and that's what's on the table right now. The General Assembly's reaction to that was to try to pass a constitutional amendment to take that away from the courts and put it back into the, which really doesn't make sense. I don't understand that. That's what courts are for. But nevertheless, we're against the constitutional amendment. We think the law of the land right now is that Supreme Court case, and that gives you a lot more leverage in identifying what is and what isn't a purely public charity.
And just one more item on your quest for urban revitalization, which is always high on everyone's mind. In the congressional district, the 6th, that we are part of the footprint with Congressman Ryan Costello, there are a number of underfunded districts, including Reading at $95 million, which might be considered as a prototype of areas that have been damaged over 25 years by hold harmless policies and education funding. So if we can up our level of funding to help with our revitalization and with our real estate assessments, it could help not just Pottstown, but
Absolutely.
a whole footprint.
We think education funding, although it's not your domain, or our members' domain, it has such an impact on the quality of life in your communities.
Right.
We've advocated for that, and frankly, to some point, some people say, "Why are you guys getting involved in that?" We're getting involved with that because although it's not direct funding, it's not affecting your budget, your finances you talked about, it does have a direct effect on who wants to live in your community, who wants to be there.
Right.
And so we've advocated for that. I'll just mention real quickly, if I may, folks that are like you with us, depending what you consider yourself like, but Westchester, Doylestown, Media, Norristown, Carlisle, Chambersburg, Millersville, Kutztown, Edinburgh, State College are all boroughs that are in our membership. It's not about class, it's about what you do.
Any other questions?
Local radar?
Local radar.
I mean, everybody's...
That's going to pass this session.
Okay, I'm just hoping. Thank you.
It moved, it went as far as it could last session, and it went pretty far. I think it has some momentum. It's amazing to me that it isn't law, but it isn't.
Could you
guys differ greatly from the Pennsylvania Boroughs Association, which we are currently a member of, and you do a lot of advocacy in Harrisburg. And how do we as a municipality get to the table as part of that advocacy for, or what we want out of Harrisburg?
Sure. We're only as good as you are, quite frankly. I mean, it's so important for your legislators to know what the issues are. We're an association. We can certainly go up and we're going to advocate on your behalf. But if you haven't told them how important it is to Pottstown, we don't have a chance. And so we have a legislative committee. We just had lobby days on the 24th and 25th. And we brought 20, 30 people in and set up a bunch of meetings and went around and actually got some good out of it. We got somebody to introduce a bill in the House that we needed to get introduced. And it was a direct result of those lobby days because we had a bunch of members sitting there.
And so that's open to all the municipalities to serve on that legislative committee?
Well, we do it by invitation, but obviously we would certainly, Pottstown would be interested, would certainly be interested in having it.
And then just a couple of other questions. The program, the trainings that you offer, like the PATH and the PA construction codes, is that part of the membership or is that another agreement?
We have a training contract, okay? The PCCA is for your construction codes folks. And so that's a separate thing. It's not included in your membership, you pay separately.
That's correct.
Yeah.
It's run through, it's a state contract through DCED, and they basically outsource their trainings. They don't have the capability of staffing to do that. And we do that for them, for the areas that they want to see trained.
And so although the first year is free, what is the cost after that? I know that it's 40% based on population. Tell me what that means.
Yeah, so basically you would take your most recent census numbers, which would be 2010, and the borough's population is roughly 22,000 some change, I think. So
right.
It's 40% of that amount would be your annual dues. Now, Rick mentioned earlier about the incentive program. Your first year is free, then it's graduated down for discounts for the next 5 years.
So we're looking, the first year's free, second year's $8,800?
That would be the fifth year.
Right. That would be full freight in the fifth year. So the second year would be 50% discount. Third and fourth year is 25% discount. Last year's 10. And it goes up to full freight at 17 through 22. I gave markup.
Gradually moves up, and we have it completely shut.
Okay.
You get a discount because you're in Penn Prime, but that $8,800 becomes $8,000.
Got it.
And there's a few other programs too. Rick mentioned Pelras. You can get a discount off the lead dues for that as well. UCOM, if you join UCOM, you get an additional discount. So it could be potentially less than the 800. And the Penn Prime discount continues forward forever as long as you're a member of the trust. That's not part of the
states for it.
Yeah, right. So it'd be something right around $8,000 is the number like that.
Any other questions? Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Thanks. Have a good meeting.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay, item F. I'm seeking a motion to grant preliminary final approval of the Daniel and Fay Hellwig Land Development Plan at 383 Circle of Progress, subject to satisfying the following conditions within 90 days. First, compliance with the Cedarville Engineering Letter of April 6, 2017. Second, preparation and execution of a development agreement. Third, payment of a fee in lieu of open space in the amount of $2,150 prior to issuance of building permits. And four, payment in full of all borough review fees.
Moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions, any discussion?
Yeah, just briefly, Mr. Wind. Mr. Hellwig's here this evening. Mr. Hellwig, do you agree to and accept those terms and conditions of plan approval?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
That being said, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries. G is a motion to grant the following waiver requests from the subdivision and land development ordinance for the Daniel and Fay Hellwig Land Development Plan. One is Section A 504, reducing required amount of open space.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the ayes have it.
We thank the council, planning commission, and the staff for their help. And we look forward to putting this building up.
Just for the camera, would you tell the public, have we been working well with you?
They have been working very well with us. The solicitor's been easy to work with. Carol, who's the engineer, has worked with us on the stormwater management. The Planning Commission had some questions. I think we answered everything. Little problem on stormwater management, we didn't have enough rain barrels, but we got that all squared away.
Girl Scouts are going to take care of that?
Incidentally, there's, Upper Dublin Township actually requires on new houses a rain barrel per, which is kind of interesting. And on my own house, which I built in Whitemarsh, I put an underground retention system to take all the rain gutters, et cetera, and put them in the yard so that they would regenerate into the ground. It was quite expensive, but it's well worth it for the environment. If I can ever help you on some of those things, I'm all over the county. We appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so
We'll be back in touch.
by word of mouth, you'll be telling other businesses this is the place
To
to
come to
move?
Pottstown,
Yeah,
yes,
so
we have one other site there to hopefully develop shortly.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much again.
Thank you.
Free advertise.
H is a motion to award a bid for contract 156, contract 156-2016, Community Development Block Grant Storm Drainage Improvements at South Washington and Laurel Streets to Doley Construction, Chalfont, PA, in the amount of $217,564, subject to review and approval of their solicitor.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion on this?
Do we feel that, because I know this is a very problem area with the flooding, and do we feel that this is going to at least, I don't want to say resolve, but come as close to anything else to resolve the flooding issues in that area?
I don't think that this is going to eliminate Mother Nature's influence in the area. However, I think that it is going to lessen a lot of the smaller events that area has seen over the years. I think the impact will be reduced significantly.
And this is the best recommendation by the technical and engineering people?
It is. A lot of research went into it.
Any other questions, discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Item I, motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the submission of a Greenways Trail and Recreation Program, GTRP grant, in the amount of $25,000 from the Commonwealth Financing Authority to be used for Memorial Park Phase 2 playground replacement and site assess improvements.
Moved.
Can I add something to that? Actually, the amount requested is $250,000, not $25,000 as written.
Okay. Please note $250,000.
Big difference. Yes, a little bit.
Okay, now do I have the motion?
Moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion on this?
I'd just like to ask if there's been inclusion for handicapped children and also the condition of the surface for impacts of children that would fall off of, say, any of the equipment, but particularly for handicap. I know there are special, vendors that provide that, and I think it would be a great amenity to have some items in that playground renewal that were available for handicapped children.
So the answer to both those questions is yes. Any funding that we receive from the state, we have to design facilities for ADA accessibility. So, from the parking area, you have to have an ADA accessible parking spaces to the amount required by law. Also, an ADA accessible pathway, and then the surface of the playground itself would also have to be ADA accessible. There are multiple ways that you can do that. The way we typically do it now is through a structured mulch or wood chip system, which is determined to be ADA accessible. It's the lowest cost method. But if we were to get both the DCNR grant and the DCD grant that we applied for Memorial Park, we would actually be able to do an impact attenuating surface there. That would be more of a rubberized type surface like you see at some of the athletic track and field facilities in the area. So that's our goal, but either way, yes, it would be ADA accessible and it would have an impact attenuating surface.
And so some of the also play items would be, not just the accessibility, but then someone in a wheelchair could swing. I mean,
Right.
I've seen all of these type of things.
Yeah, so things like transfer stations where you can get off a wheelchair or other aid to get onto the playground equipment itself would also be provided. And a lot of that's regulated either by, as a condition of the grant that comes from the state or by the American with Disabilities Act.
Thank you.
Any other discussion on this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. J is a motion to adopt a resolution certifying the local match for state operating financial assistance for the Pottstown area rapid transit system.
Mr. Wynn, this wasn't discussed during the committee of the whole meeting. This is one that was added on. It came up at the last minute. Justin, maybe you could give some
Enlighten us.
information.
Yeah, sure. So what this is this is a local match that's required for the park operating budget. This only covers operating expenses, and the local match is borne in part by Montgomery County and Chester County, and there's no dollar commitment that's required on our part.
Okay. So, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No? Yeah, okay. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
And a second. Now I need discussion from council. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. K is a motion to authorize the solicitor to prepare an ordinance amendment modifying plumbing regulations for water and sanitary sewers associated with the Pottstown Borough Authority's standard specifications. And this we did discuss last week.
Moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on this any further? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion passes. L is a motion to approve the request for the Go Forth Festival Committee to hold a beer garden in Memorial Park on July 3 and 4, 2017, subject to approval of the police and fire departments and compliance with the Liquor Control Board regulations.
Moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. M is a motion to reappoint Rita Paez to the Human Relations Commission for a 4-year term to expire May 8, 2021, subject to satisfying the criminal background check and child abuse history clearance requirements.
Moved. Second.
Moved and second. Discussion?
You know, I has nothing to do with the applicant, but I think maybe 2 meetings ago or whenever it was, we had 3 letters come in and basically they didn't specify what anyone's qualifications were to, or you know, why they had to serve, and you know, I just didn't get any supporting materials, so I'll be voting no on this. It has nothing to do with the applicant. It was just something that I wanted to see, so.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay. Ayes have it. N is a motion to appoint Anthony Campbell to the alternate position on the Construction Code Board of Appeals.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion?
When is the last time the Board of Appeals met?
I don't know, but it's required.
I will say about 2 years ago, and right now we actually do have an appeal pending, waiting for information so it can be dispersed to the board.
Any other questions or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. O is a motion to approve certificates of appropriateness for the following properties as recommended by HARB. I'll group the 3 together. First is 80 North Charlotte Street, second 125 North Hanover Street, third is 238 240 King Street.
Moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion on these? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Before I go to the report of the bills, I did want to mention that the topic of the murals is being removed. Do you care to comment, Mr. Keller?
Sure. We brought the draft of the mural ordinance to everyone on Wednesday night, and based on some of the feedback that we got from the artists in attendance, we decided to pull that ordinance, kind of press pause, if you will, for now on that, so that we can have more time to review it with the artists. And so what I did after that meeting is typically the way that we craft ordinances in the borough as we go through the ad hoc zoning committee. So I went back to them and asked them if they would like to pull that from the agenda tonight. They were agreeable, and I think at the end of the day, we're going to get a better ordinance with more input from people in the community and more input from the artists involved. So our next ad hoc meeting is scheduled for May 16th, but that is the primary election day. So we're looking at actually rescheduling that right now with the ad hoc committee to a later date perhaps. And my plan is to send out the draft ordinance as we have it to a list to any artists that where I'm provided their contact information. I've received several contacts so far, but some of those that could be included are designees from Pottstown Arts, designees from Art Fusion 19464, the Pottstown Artist Guild, and any others. And if the artists aren't able to attend that meeting, they'll have a draft copy that they can mark up and send back to me, and I will read their comments at the meeting, and then we can kind of go from there.
Very good.
Justin, I have a question because I think there's just a little confusion because there's a difference between the ordinance itself and then the permitting approval policy and procedure. So it's two separate things that come together as one. And I think what really needs a lot of work is, how this approval process is going to happen, so that maybe there is a different agreement for each particular project, but there has to be an agreement in place. And I think that's the area that's also going to have to be addressed, not just the ordinance itself.
Okay.
When you're working on this with
Right.
the group.
Right, and we do have a requirement in the ordinance now for I think it's a maintenance agreement that is required for any mural that we would endorse. So we can look at adding more detail to that, I suppose, through this process based on their comments.
Right.
Also, Justin, if you don't mind, I did actually invite an independent artist tonight because of this discussion that had some questions of me. So would you be available to speak with that person after the meeting?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if you have their contact information, or if they're here, they can give me their contact information. I'll share the ordinance with them as well.
Okay. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Please.
Well, I was going to say, I've reached out to Municipal Borough as well on their beautification committee. I know some of the members, some acquaintances, some I know well, so I kind of figure out how they structure and regulate their murals.
Okay. Mr. Garner?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, I thought that the process that council undertook with respect to starting with the ad hoc zoning ordinance review committee was the right way to go. And that committee did their due diligence to present to you a proposed ordinance. And it's really, that's the time when it becomes subject to public consumption. And I think exactly what's supposed to happen happened. The local artists were aware that it was going to be discussed. You didn't advertise it for public hearing. It's not necessarily in final form unless you thought it to be.
No.
So I think the whole process was really what you want. You want to get it at that point when you have something to talk about, and now's the time to get the input. So to the extent that the folks that were here Wednesday night seemed a little bit upset that they weren't included, I don't think really they were ready to be included until you had something to look at. And I think you should be proud that the process worked like it was intended. So I think you should, congratulate yourselves, or at least take credit for that, because sometimes we get criticism that it's not open enough and things happen, and have them approved before anybody has any input. But this worked out well. So it worked the way it's supposed to.
You have something, Mr. Flanders? No? Anyone else? Okay, 11 is a report of the bills. I'm seeking a motion to approve the amount of $1,967,946.67.
Moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion or questions?
Yeah, I just.
Mr. Arms?
Had a couple of things here in reviewing the bills was, so it was $438 in employment advertising, $3,700 in background checks, and another $6,000 in planning assistance that went to the county. And, I mean, those are, and you might come back and say that these are required because X, Y, and Z, or whatever the case, but they were amounts that seemed a little too much money to me. I mean, and in the grand scheme of things, when you're talking about $1 million, I know $3,000 sounds like nothing, but I mean, just one employee alone, it was like $2,800 for a background check, and our teachers that are working with children every day pay maybe $60, and they pay that themselves. So I'll be voting no on this, even though it's you know, there's really no point since the bills have already been paid, but just to make a statement, I guess.
Okay, any other statements?
What's the difference? What's the difference between the background checks that, say, the teachers get and the background checks? Does it have to do with the police, or?
I'm not sure which specific background checks are being referenced. However, there are different levels of background. All employees hired by the borough go through different levels of background. People that have positions that have fiduciary responsibility or in the criminal justice system that are going to be in people's homes, we do a more in-depth background on them. So I'd have to see specifically what the backgrounds for what positions they were.
Okay, thank you.
I do want to thank you, Mr. Arms, for scrutinizing. It's part of our duty. Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? No. Very good. Motion carries. Announcements. Mr. Proswell, anything?
Well, on Saturday, I went and checked out the Beach Street apartments, and actually it looks very good. I'm impressed with it. And went to the powwow the following Sunday.
Mhm.
The little boy got really into the
You enjoyed that?
ceremony, and it was a good time.
Good. Councilor Culp? No. Councilor Miller?
This weekend, there was so much to do in Pottstown, I didn't even get to do everything that I wanted to do.
We told them last Wednesday there was no reason to leave Pottstown.
I know, so I did attend the We're Still Here event and saw the really smoking hot bands at Smith Family Plaza, so I was really pleased with that. And then I was also able to attend the powwow for a little bit, and in the rain just didn't stop everybody. So I have one more. In a true act of compassion and humanity, I am very proud and pleased to say the Phillies Fire Company has partnered with Pottstown Paws to clean out and restore a garage for a trap neuter release program project that we're working on the 700 block of Walnut Street to provide a very nice shelter for the community cats. And this is a rather large-scale project, so anybody who wants to contribute, donations would be appreciated and can be sent to the Phillies Fire Company and notated off as the Pottstown Paws project. And then we'll also be doing a food drive for canned and hard food, and those donations can be dropped off at Lily's Grill.
Very good. Councilor Kirkman, anything?
Yes, I just wanted to congratulate Pastor Ross, Brennan Ross, and his congregation on their second-year anniversary of the church. I know a few years ago they wanted to build a new church in Pottstown. That did not happen due to the land that they purchased had some environmental issues, and they could not build there. And they've been through a lot of disappointments. But it was a nice event they just had, second-year anniversary. It was very nice. Just want to congratulate them.
Wonderful.
Good job.
Councilor Paez? No comment? Councilor Arms?
I have a compliment sandwich here. Thanks to the mayor for the Ferdinand proclamation presentation and the school recognizing that and the program for the students. Like Councilor Miller said, the weekend was packed with activity. We had events for the volunteers and residents who came out. We were working at the events and just coming to see what the events were despite the weather. It was really nice of the county to provide a free trolley on Saturday. But I am disappointed to learn that we did not use our trolley due to cost. And finally, thanks to Mark and the chief for recognizing our employees at our last meeting. And the employees of this borough were tirelessly just there for the people of the borough.
Very good. Mayor Thomas.
I would just like to make a suggestion to the staff and to commend the people who are the writers of Act 90. I think it would do a good public service if there were an online article explaining how those impacts resulted in us seeing the positive effect that it had on our collections. I mean, you know, sometimes people need to really understand what's happening. Not saying that they want to, but if you provide it, there's going to be a couple people that will catch on. And, yeah, I attended a few of the events this weekend, mostly the car show, which is by demand. And it was good to see people out, even though it was spritzing rain, things were still happening, and so it was a very good weekend. I was also at the anniversary for the Bethel Community Church of Pottstown, and congratulate them as well. When you go through a lot of different hoops and chains, and finally you end up somewhere maybe you didn't expect to be, but it could be a better place. What they are doing is showing diversity and inclusion in their use of the facility. They have Quakers, Friends meeting in the facility, as well as the original Mercy and Truth Synagogue. So there are 3 congregations operating under one roof, and that's very good to see. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just conclude, everybody took my words, because it seems like we were all at multiple events this past weekend. The only new thing I can add is I was at the carousel again, and it is phenomenal, not only for my grandchildren and the other small people, but I was there one evening with that was totally adults, and they had just as much fun as anybody else. Here, I'll stand up. We are Pottstown, and we invite everybody to come out. We'll be busy again this coming weekend. Please join us. With that, meeting adjourned.